Toronto-based Agnico-Eagle Mines operates primarily in Canada. It's got operations in Finland and in Mexico. The company has paid a cash dividend for 29 consecutive years, and it reported its first quarter results minutes ago. Sean Boyd is Agnico-Eagle's vice chairman and the chief executive, and he joins me for a CEO sit-down, joining us from Toronto. Sean Boyd, good to have you with us. What were the results, and what's the look into the future?
Well, as we look into the future, we're in the midst of commissioning the final sort of mine of a build-out of 5 new mines. And that mine, the Meadowbank mine in the Canadian Arctic, had a difficult quarter, tough winter conditions. We had a fire in part of the facility in the kitchen. We're back at full staff now. So as we look out to the second half of 2011, we should see our gold production increase about 20% as we move into the second half. And we've got growth on out through 2014 from the existing asset base.
Tell me a little bit about an acquisition that you made in July of last year. This having to do with something called the Rankin Inlet. Is this the mine to which you're referring? And what's the outlook for 2014, 2015? Because it takes a long time to get these up and running.
Well, that mine is the Meliadine project, which, as you said, we acquired last year. It's 300 kilometers from the current operating mine, Meadowbank, but Meliadine is our fastest growing deposit in terms of exploration news and expansion of reserves. It grew 30% last year, and it will come into production late 2015 into 2016, and will likely ultimately be our biggest gold producer.
Now, tell us about your flagship mine right now. This is La Ronde. This is in northwestern Quebec. It produces about 4 million ounces of gold annually.
Well, it produces about less than 200,000 annually, but over its long life, it's produced over 4 million ounces. The interesting thing about that mine, it's still got 6 to 7 million ounces left in reserves, and it's been running for 24 years. So it's our flagship. It also produces significant quantities of silver, as does our Mexican mine. So we're getting a nice silver credit here, with silver prices approaching $50 an ounce.
Tell me about Goldex. I mean, what about the cost of getting the gold out of the ground from that mine?
Goldex is one which is about a mile from the Walmart in a town of 35,000 people. It's not remote. It's in a mining region. It's one that we've had an investment in since 1971. It took us 37 years to figure out how to turn it into an economic mine. It had a 1-year payback. We've just discovered a new zone below the existing mine, and we look to double the mine life there from around 10 years to 20 years. So it'll be a long life producer for us.
And what about the cost of getting the gold out of the ground? With gold over $1,531 an ounce, what kind of margins can we look forward to?
Well, our all-in total cash cost of operating was $531 this past quarter. We see that dropping down into the mid-450s as we move through the second half of the year and into next year. So we're looking at a margin on a cash basis of over $1,000 an ounce at these gold prices.
Tell me about what's going on in Finland, Kittilä. This is one of, I believe it's an open pit mine.
Open pit with also an underground component in it. The underground component is where the growth is. We just announced some recent exploration results today, which show that that deposit continues below the known reserve and resource, and that is currently Europe's largest producing gold mine.
What about acquisitions? Are you looking for anything to buy?
We are constantly on the lookout to buy assets. We've made 4 acquisitions in the last 5 years. We've grown those assets through focused exploration. We have a team that creates value through mine building, so we continue to look for acquisitions. But our strategy is a little bit different than most. It's gold focused, and it's focused on smaller, earlier stage opportunities that we could bring our expertise to bear to create more value.
All right, I want to thank you very much, Sean Boyd, joining us as the Vice Chairman and Chief Executive of Agnico-Eagle Mines.